Hey, what's up? Good morning. So, I'm driving, obviously, through a school zone, 15 miles an hour, slowing down. So, I wanted to talk today just about a few things. First of all, I had an amazing palate cleanse last night. I've been cramming my head full of hip hop and top 40s, really trying to get my beat game strong and trying to kind of ramp up my beat store and have a lot for sale, have a lot of meaningful, good quality stuff for sale. And last night I went to go see this little jazz trio with a friend of mine, actually Zach Turan, who was on the channel, was playing bass in it. And it was fantastic. So I just absolutely love seeing a trio that's that well put together, that they have song structures and they have forms, but inside of those forms they improvise in ways that are just really incredible. And it was really cool to see. So awesome, great job, Zach and Tristan Selzler, and terrible, I forgot the drummer's name. But yeah, anyway, just really good. It was really fun. And I've been kind of dreaming about an app, and I don't know if there are any music app developers who would be down to partner on this, but I've been thinking, I really like Machine, the app, and I really kind of like the sound quality that it gives you, and I was wondering if there would be a way to create an app that could save or export as Ableton Live sets. Now, I don't want to get too overcomplicated dreaming of an app that is Ableton Live on my phone, because I know that's not a possibility. I mean, it is a possibility, but I think Ableton does too much. So I think more what I would be looking for an app to do is be the kind of iMachine style sampler / sequencer. So even just you could switch between an instance of Simpler or like a 16-pad drum rack. And it would even not have to be full-featured Simpler. It could be just a really simple Simpler, just a really simple sampler, just something to play back samples. Basically, the dream is to be able to make some beats on my phone, be able to produce something, and open it up in Ableton when I get home. That would be ideal. So, can I has it? Can I has it? Can I have that? I don't know. Just thought it would be cool, especially in the midst of all this NAMM news, where we've got tons of new tech coming out. Pioneer showed off their prototype, whatever that crazy rig is with the screens and everything. I don't know if anyone will ever actually get to use that or ever actually use that. I think it's a little weird to put the flip-up screens on the DJ controllers or DJ media players. I feel like that's one of the reasons why people like the Pioneer kit, is that it doesn't have a screen in your way. Otherwise, you just use a computer. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the normal guitar stuff. I'm really excited about the new Fender line of amps. That looks cool. The bass juggler or whatever. It's the newer version of the Bassman. That comes in a 7-watt version, which is really cool. I wish it came in a 7-watt head, because I would want to partner it with a 12. But it looks like the 7-watt's like a 10 or an 8. It's a smaller speaker, but that's okay. So, yeah. But that app was just something I was kind of dreaming about in the midst of all this new stuff coming out, because it would be really sweet to see. And who knows? I mean, maybe that's where Ableton's already going. Maybe they're one step ahead of me, and they're already kind of doing that. Because I feel like, again, in my previous vlog, I was talking about how the integration between different pieces are going to fall together really well. In that Link is allowing us to kind of take apps and mash them together. And right now, it's working okay, but what I'm having to do is play Machine through Loopy on my phone and then export those loops into Ableton, which doesn't end up working out awesome. The other option is I can just do overdubs running audio into my audio interface from my phone, but again, that doesn't work out awesome. So I would love to see a way to save a set and open it on my computer. And personally, since Ableton is my main workflow, I would love to see that. Like I said, maybe they're one step ahead of me. They're already doing it. Because of the link thing, they're entering into the mobile market and kind of getting into those interconnected devices. It's really cool. Anyway, long story short, I think I have a new want list as far as gear I'd like to get. Especially after going to that jam session last night, I'd really like to do some more live jamming. My keyboard's good enough. I mean, eventually, and we're talking like way down the road, I'd love to get a Nord Stage. It's just a fantastic keyboard, especially for live. I love being able to quickly do sound design. I think that's the one drawback of my PS60 is that, you know, it has a bunch of decent sounds in it. Easy. I can easily layer things, but the sound design itself is incredibly difficult to do. And with the Nord Stage, being able to flip on and off effects, change effects, hit in some tap tempos, it's just so super easy and powerful. I think also, I like that bike. It's a pink little single speed. I think also what I would like to get, I'd like to get the JHV3 modded M13 and a JHV3 modded M9 with master volume knobs. I was really missing that kind of effects control. And this time, I would like to also get them recased. I don't need them in the big metal box that they come in. I mean, I'm sorry, the M9 I will keep in its box because I'm going to use it as a foot controller just to run effects for my guitar. But for the M13 as my vocal effects box, I don't need it as a pedal. I don't need it that heavy. I want it to be flatter. I want the screens tipped up a little bit. I want it to be lighter. I want it to be a smaller form factor to kind of be able to put it near a mic stand, next to a mic stand. So I want to put it in a plastic box. I want to give it some lighter, smaller buttons and shrink it all down so that it fits in a smaller form factor. So those are two things on my want list. The other thing that I think I want, and I say I think because, I don't know, the part of this that is so exciting to me about doing that jam with Loopy and Zach is kind of opening up new possibilities of this stuff. And after doing that jam, it looks like there is an update for Loopy that includes the feature that Zach and I requested. I haven't looked too much into it, so I don't know if that's actually true or if it's just me dreaming. But I was really excited to see that kind of everything worked together in that way, where you could really start a loop and start the session and start the link session and start the tempo and do all that stuff and be able to follow along. And especially being able to do that kind of opens up new possibilities with Ableton and Push. And I don't know, I'll have to explore a little bit more of what that would look like performance-wise. I'm pretty sure, and I'm just kind of throwing this out there, I'm pretty sure that I would use Ableton just for sequencing drums. Now, I don't know. Maybe. As a live capture, Ableton is still really clunky. Compared to things like the RC505, the Roland looper, where Ableton, you always have to hit the record before the downbeat. The records are always quantized, but they're quantized ahead of time. Whereas when you talk about the RC505, you can kind of hit it a little, you just hit it at the time you want it. And I don't know if it's because it carries a 1 second buffer or whatever, so that it'll capture a little bit before, a little bit after, but it's really good. I think with Loopy is really cool in that, it'll quantize loops, so as soon as you start recording, or at least the mode I use it on, as soon as you start recording, it starts recording, and then it'll kind of fix and align your loop to be that. And this is a feature of a looper that Beardy Man actually said in a talk. Taryn Foreman. Beardy Man actually said in a talk was that being able to adjust the alignment of a loop after you've done it is a cool feature that not many loopers have. I don't know. But I think getting into that kind of live improv, live performance stuff is going to be more fun and more fulfilling for me, and it's going to really help me as a player. It's going to really help me as a player in that I have a venue to practice for. Because the other thing I realized last night is that practice is the refinement of a skill. I feel like this is something that I talked about in a talk I did at UNR, and this is kind of a part of my core methodology, is that practice is not just doing something to get more familiar with doing something. That's called playing. That's called rehearsing. That's, gaining experience on an instrument or in doing whatever it is. But practice is about meaningful refinement of a skill. And so I feel like what I've been losing is that refinement, that I don't necessarily have a venue to practice for. I can noodle a little bit on piano, I noodle a little bit on guitar, record a little or whatever, but I don't have a venue to really force me to improve. And I think that's what was so cool about that live jam last night, and that's why I'd like to get more back into kind of live improv as a selfish exercise. I still think that for me, live improv probably won't ever be my main source of income, won't ever be my main source of musical feedback, because so in my talk at UNR, I talked about this, and I actually filmed this lecture, but I didn't like the music that I made during the lecture, so I don't know if I'll release it. I might do like some live looping interjection, who knows, we'll see. But one of the things I talked about was how you can apply the Pareto efficiency, the 80-20 principle, to music, and you can cut out 80% of the hassle that only yields the last 20% of the results. But when it comes to live looping, one of the things that you lose is the ability to refine a part. And I mean, it's one of the reasons why bands and musicians are so valuable. It's one of the reasons why people who rehearse an instrument and practice an instrument and work to improve at an instrument, spend countless hours getting better, are so useful and so valuable, is because they can literally turn on a dime. If you hand them a chart, they can play a flavorful part of that chart. Whereas in live looping, you're responsible for creating the whole arrangement. And that's why it was so exciting to explore the possibility of having multiple people live looping and syncing together with Link. So, I don't know. Just kind of a lot to think about. But I'd really like to get back into kind of jamming and performing and doing that live stuff, because again, I think it'll refine my ability to generate meaningful parts and allow me to focus on that. I think it's one of the things I did when I came home last night. It was late, and so I made a beat. And when you're tired and you make a beat, or at least I find when I'm tired and I make a beat, it ends up being slightly overcomplicated. And so being able to hear it with fresh ears and refine it a little bit, I was really excited to see. Anyway, but there's some good things I captured, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about personal stuff. And I'm sorry this is such a selfish vlog. I feel like I'm missing a turn, so I'm going to go ahead and turn here and figure out where I'm going. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. This, again, was kind of a selfish blog, but talking about gear and stuff. So, yeah, have a great day.